So they don't look that old, do they?
Oh God. What? Who?
These guys, they're 100 years.
I know.
Oh.
Oh, we're a bit slow. So is it too long a lunch?
Oh. Yeah.
Yes, we're back. It's after lunch. Morena's still suffering from his nachos and tacos and whatever.
Actually, that chocolate chewy brownie thing, that was delicious.
I still have some.
I saw, yeah.
I didn't. Nobody brought me one. I don't like chocolate brownie things, so that's okay.
Yeah, when you say the question, they look that old. I was thinking that you were talking about yourself.
Ta, 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 shots fired.
We're off.
Yes, the tone has been set for the interview.
It already started this morning, so.
I can tell.
That's true.
I can tell.
Yes, we're part of the
I'm
fan-
feeling the love in this square of microphones here.
Oh, it's always like this. Always like this. Craig, welcome to Commsverse 25
Thank you very much.
TV. We
Glad
had
to
to
be here.
readjust the cameras because he's kind of a foot tall, easily a foot taller
Yeah.
than Moraine and 1 meter taller than
This needs to be looking funny.
Yeah.
Have you adjusted your camera?
Yes.
That's nice.
It's a perspective thing. You know.
So is it just treated as a joke now, the height thing? I mean, because
A little
people
bit.
must mention it
It's,
all the time.
I mean, yeah, it's the running gag of, Craig, we need that thing put in the roof. Can you just do it before we go get the ladder? It's
Okay.
it doesn't get. I'd rather it was that way than the other way, but it's yeah.
Well, with a certain like Dolby, I always used to get noise reduction systems, when it was popular.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
No nicknames for you guys?
Oh, yeah, Winter.
What?
Winter.
Wizard.
Because my last name is Somers, like summer. And
Oh, okay.
I get
Nice.
it's winter all the time.
Yeah.
So other than short ass, what did you get?
Not really something else.
Wow. Wow. I've a lot of nicknames. Very few
Everyone
can
likes
be
you.
repeatable on in public, but it was obvious things like tree or Lurch
yeah.
was another one I had at school.
Lurch. That sounds
Lurch
very
from the
British
Addams
school.
family.
Yeah,
Lurch. But
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
it's
Oh,
fine. It's fine.
Good. So talking about big, Shure's been around a long
Yep.
time, 100 years. It's actually a long time.
It's a big number.
Yeah,
It's a
what
big
was the
number.
first ever product?
I think, when we were born in 1925, we were a distributor of AM radio parts.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what we did. We were a catalogue company, if you like. We then diversified into distributing household goods, broadly speaking, anything and everything. There's some snippets of our catalogue if you come in for a demo that you can see where at one point we sold things like kettles and toasters and even a waffle iron as well.
Wow.
Because it was a secret desire of mine. I'm a fan of waffles. It was a secret desire of mine that they brought back a Shure waffle iron.
A
for the 100th
100-year-old centenary waffle
Yes,
iron.
exactly. Which I still think is a good idea.
But they didn't.
They haven't yet.
Ah.
But we are only in June, so we're
6
doing this
months.
thing of officially we turned 100 years old in April, but rather than have one day of bunting and flags and celebrations, we decided to be a little bit selfish and run for the whole year and
Of course.
spread the love. So every show, every event, everything that we're doing this year is all about the 100th anniversary messaging, and obviously it's a big year for product launches as well. So
Yes.
it's the logo has changed slightly, so there's a very big 100 in the Shure logo for this year only.
Yes, that's good. But you are talking to people that can make changes here.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, last year there was no such thing as a pink QWERTY Logitech keyboard.
Really?
And
Wow.
basically we sat joking because Anouk was saying, I wanted one in pink. And so we sat joking with the Logitech guy, and then about an hour or two later he came back and said, my boss has been on and wants to know why
Wow.
we don't have a pink. He'd actually watched the video. And so here it is.
Excellent.
It's actually now real.
It exists.
So there we go.
Yes.
So, yes, I think, guys, I don't know about you, but a waffle iron with a Shure logo on it sounds like a definite Shure thing.
If it makes the logo into the waffles, yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. That was my thought. But yeah.
Not a waffle lover?
I am.
I can't stand them, actually.
Yeah.
I'll
see, you've-
have yours.
I mean,
No
so
worries.
you've never tried a Shure waffle.
A
That's
Shure
the thing.
waffle. A Sure thing.
The great. Yeah, exactly. Could well be the greatest waffle of all.
All right, so you have this great ship behind you floating
Yes.
around in the exhibition space.
Yes.
It
We
actually
built,
really is cool.
we built an entire meeting room on
Yeah.
our stand.
We saw it being built yesterday. It was pretty impressive, actually.
It's a lot of infrastructure, a lot of time and effort and sweat.
Bring it to the reveal.
It's by no means cool in here, so the guys did a great job over the last day and a half, and really, it's quite impressive. I won't look behind me because then you won't hear me, but it's quite impressive.
There we go. We'll show them
the
all.
mothership.
There
There you
it
go.
is.
There you go. There she is. You
There
can
she
just
is.
about see. Yeah, there she is. You can just about see the Phantom 100 on the windows, which is I think is quite cool. But yeah.
In fact, I should be able to, with this wonderful technology, zoom right in to the new logo.
there we go.
Toys for the boys.
I know, right? Look at
Brilliant.
this.
There we go.
So how warm is it inside?
It's admittedly it's cooler inside than it is out here at the moment because we have a couple of fans running. We're running demonstrations and a little presentation every 15 minutes on the half hour. So on the top of the hour and every half hour, that we give people a little bit of a history lesson to explain where we are, what we've come from. A lot of people know Shure. A lot of people don't appreciate, firstly, how old we are, and firstly, where we began and the roots.
Where did you begin?
We began and
You
still
thought
are.
that? You just explained that. You sold electronic components and then
Oh,
distributed
you mean
catalogs.
geographically?
Yeah.
I mean, well, we began in Chicago. We are headquartered still out of Chicago in Niles, and that's where our mothership is based. The
Does it look
company's
like that
headquartered.
ship?
It does not. No, it's slightly more glass and cladding. But we're headquartered out of Chicago, but we operate across. I think it's 35 different regions across the globe. We have an office in the UK, distribution in the UK, and an experience centre in central London. We're well equipped to woo our audiences and impress people.
I guess one of the things you're very good at doing is change, because I'm guessing I'm talking to everybody. We know about your music background in terms
Exactly.
of microphones and stuff.
Yep.
We used to record our podcast on SM51s for at least the first 70 or 80.
Yep.
And then we went somewhere else. But it won't go in.
That's okay.
into it, That's fine.
There's next year, right?
This next year,
Mhm.
yes.
We'll talk about that.
As long as it's not those things, that's fine.
We'll talk about that.
I like that. I like that very much.
And that
but it
wasn't a
was-
Scottish veiled threat or
No,
anything
no,
like that.
no.
It was just,
I understand. But it was about 3 years ago, I guess, you came here first time with products around Teams Room. So it's, again,
Yes.
another transition.
Exactly. We've for the last few years we've been operating in Teams, unified communications, quite a lot. COVID, if ever there was a blessing to come out of that, COVID promoted, really shot that way of working into the front of everyone's minds. And we've been primarily a peripheral brand to that realm, if you like. We've added to people's platforms. We have solutions that connect to a lot of partner brands. We have a lot of alliance partners. Neat behind you there are one of our most valued. We make solutions that connect seamlessly to those Teams and Zoom platforms. Where we are now developing is that we've aligned and partnered quite closely with Microsoft in that we're now developing and releasing our own MTR. So we now have an entire room solution that builds in everything from the compute, the touchscreen, the switch, the cables, everything in one complete unit that self-configures. Obviously, we focus on the audio. We're using our MXA 902 ceiling array microphone and speaker.
I would do the same.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's almost like we talked about that. Exactly. But yeah, we're moving into more of a universal provider where if people are aligned to a partner platform, we can help with the audio of that side of things. Or if they want a single room brand solution, we can help with that as well. And Microsoft have been very open and helpful with us in that development journey. They've explained in detail what their priorities are, what their roadmap is like, and I think we all know it's about the artificial intelligence side of things, the co-pilot, transcription, analytics, talker identification, all of that fun stuff that is being built into meeting spaces and collaboration spaces now, what Microsoft are acutely aware of is that if their platform can't hear what's going on, then it's not as efficient as it maybe could be.
Yeah.
Which is where we match
Your
it perfectly.
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We are a microphone company first and foremost. That's everything we do is about microphones. We don't make a product that doesn't sound good. So it's a perfect alignment in my opinion, because we add value to that solution and that roadmap.
When did you first start creating microphones?
We created your pop quiz question. I think it was 1935 when we made our
January.
It was 1 month in 1935. We made the Model 5 carbon microphone. It was our first microphone that we ever manufactured.
Nice.
But then I know you mentioned the rock and roll and the live events roots of Shure, and that's a massive milestone, in where our company developed. But before that, what we did and where we were born, we were developing as a company, but we were enlisted by the armed Allied forces in World War II, not to go to the front line, although you could argue we were at the front line because we were enlisted as a microphone manufacturer and a headset manufacturer for military tasks and purposes.
Nice.
So that is another milestone in our history that happened very early on, because what was happening, we needed to manufacture these products to very high, very rigorous, robust standards. They had to work. They were in the most inhospitable places in the world. So we deployed military-based standards in our manufacturing processes. Simple things like everything is dropped, everything is subjected to humidity and heat and moisture.
Even today?
And that's even still today.
Wow.
Even today. It's a well-known thing within Shure that every product we make is dropped. Every product we make is dropped. Even our ceiling-based microphones, even our rack mount receivers, they're all dropped. Or we have what's called a slide-off test, where it's sort of slid off a desk. But everything.
The cat test.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
or the
exactly.
kit test
Yeah,
if you
we were
work
talking
from
about
home with
glasses
kids.
this
So but what it does do for the consumer is it's that reassurance of everything we build doesn't just sound great, but it's designed to last. It's designed to work and keep working even when you drop it, which is where the whole mic drop thing came into play.
You guys invented the mic.
Well, I think it was a thing, but we weren't worried about it when people started doing that. But some brands were, but there's a few famous mic drops.
No, nice. That's really
So
cool.
that gives me like Christmas present ideas for my daughter.
Yeah,
She drops everything all the time.
A Shure microphone.
Yeah.
I'm sure she'll appreciate it.
You're
Yes.
sure?
She might throw it at you.
Oh, probably.
yeah.
All right.
So
But
just to go on.
It
Sorry.
can't, if she throws it at him, it can't break.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
very good.
Yeah. The only downside of that is it might cause a kind of heightened level of damage. It's going to hurt more if it hits you. So
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
well. Yes.
evaluating.
No, that's all very cool. So 100 years of bringing clarity to conversations, I think that's a great tagline.
Yes.
And we kind of really wish you a super rest of this year.
No problem.
We hope you get
Yes.
your waffle iron.
If I don't get one, I think I might just have to make one myself.
Is that right?
Yes.
So-
I'm that kind of guy.
You're a thinker.
I'm a thinker. I'm a doer.
Yeah.
I like big engineering. I like building stuff. So yeah, it
So
might
what-
come to that.
What will you be demoing in the ship?
So
you'll be-
in our demo room that we are demoing our IntelliMix room kits. So you have an option to come and hear. Part of the presentation is a little bit about history, but then we start to talk about our alignment with Microsoft and how that partnership has evolved over time, and how we are bringing to market products that fit with that remit in terms of the all-in-one or all-encompassing complete room solution. So come along. We're running demos on the half hour both days. So come along, listen to us, talk to us, and
Have fun.
we'll see what happens.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Craig.
No worries
It
at all.
has been fun. If you're still around here in a couple of hours' time, we might be having a little bit of a whiskey tasting. So we do a podcast
rude not to, right?
around whiskey. So we have some
Excellent.
unusual whiskies to
Nice.
taste. Some of the competition I know is going to be joining us.
Oh well, that's See, you're waving the flag in front of me here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How can I say no? How can I say no?
No, we just need somebody to bring glasses actually. So we might be breaking the real rules and drinking whiskey out of paper cups. But
I mean, it's better than a mug, right?
that is true. Actually, I did see some
Oh, wait.
steins on
We
one
have-
of the store.
We have some stuff.
Oh,
where we
yeah,
can
we
put
got
that in.
cool
so-
stuff.
okay.
All right.
Anyway.
Good. Thank you very much indeed, my friends.
No
See
problem.
Greg. Have
Yes.
a great rest of the
Awesome.
day.
Have a good day.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye bye. Cool. So we are. Who's next? I don't know.
Well,
we're going to replace you with somebody else.
That's
Greg.
okay, no
Thanks.
problem.
All right.
Thank you.
CC Teams are next. CC for Teams.
there we go.
Hi.
Hello.
That was cool. I know
I
Shure
think
was
we better.
100
Yeah.
years old because I've seen it, but I
Yeah.
kind of always assumed they were in
Perfect,
sound
thank you.
or something. Interesting they did electronics to start off with.
Yeah, it's of course like a household brand. So I mean,
No, it isn't. It is in some areas, I suppose.
you need to talk into the microphone.
I know, but that's
How
okay.
many
I can
times do
hear
we need
myself.
to say it today?
Listen, you were the one that keeps doing it more than me. I even readjusted your mic. Listen, I'm a busy guy. I got stuff here to do, and I got stuff there.
Excuses,
Things to
excuses.
I
see,
know.
things to
To do. I'm full of
say.
it. Full of it.
Hello, Dan.
Hello.
Let's get cracking.
Let's do it.
Yes. So, for 50 euros, what is the bit rate of no? Hello, Dan. Who are you? What do you do?
Yeah, sure. Dan Horgan. I work for a company called Contact Center for All. And in short, we kind of work with Microsoft Teams environments, and we actually turn those into contact center functionality. So we kind of extend the features of Microsoft Teams for contact center functionality.
And that's an app within Teams, or it's
Yeah, it's an application. So it sits natively within Teams.
So you need to be very careful. You're not allowed to say in short, because we have people here that are sensitive to their height. So,
I mean,
you know. What's wrong,
Who is
guys?
saying that? I'm not insensitive for it. I know that I'm short and it has advantages.
This is just revenge.
no,
Don't worry.
so
Just revenge.
it's that kind of conversation that we're having.
Yeah, it's been that way all
that's
day.
fine. That's fine. That's good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, is it a newish product, or is it something you've been doing for a while?
No, we've been doing it for a while, actually, probably 10, 12 years. So we came from the days of Link, Skype, and Teams. So we've gone through lots of different kind of versions and working with Microsoft in terms of their platform
Yeah.
and the different ways you kind of connect as well. So we're kind of on their latest and greatest way of connecting through what we call the Graph API,
Yes.
the extended model. But we're also part of the Unify beta program,
Okay. Yeah.
which is great because there's only a selected few that get into that kind of area of things. But it's we already do some things in Unify and Power, but certainly from a contact center point perspective, when that's all ready, we'll be launching with it.
All right. Cool. So what is your role within CC for Teams?
Yeah, so I'm a partner director. So I look after the UK and Ireland, and we work through the channel. So predominantly work with resellers and partners who offer a complete kind of stack, I suppose, around contact centers. They're normally Microsoft MSPs who have kind of adopted telephony or omni-channel, as we now mostly talk about, and AI, of course.
Sorry, what? A what? No.
AY.
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 Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Go.
Lots of it. Talking about
Yeah,
AI, how is it changing the way you guys work?
Yeah, it's changing a lot. It's a really interesting thing because I did a session earlier this morning around kind of omni-channel AI and what does that mean, really?
What does that mean?
Because everyone talks about AI, and I think the buzz and the hype's still there, and there's also this kind of fear still. I think the fear is starting to dwindle, but what it means for us is really empowering kind of agents or operators within the contact center. So it's not about replacing jobs whatsoever. So some of the things that we're doing with AI, or our clients are doing with AI, is more around kind of conversational summaries. So it's kind of a history, a customer journey of all the different interactions they've had, and AI can help support that by looking into databases and making a kind of a summary. If you think about it, we've all been on calls where, you know, the agent or operator put us on hold for a minute or 2 minutes, or come back and it's 3 minutes. because they're looking at different kind of databases and of customer history. Whereas with AI, it can put it all together in one kind of small summary and a note. So that's one of the things
That's quite cool, actually.
yeah, it's
Now you probably pick up on the sentiment of the voice of the person as well, and is he angry? Is he very angry? Is he happy? Yeah,
exactly. And that's the other thing we some of our customers do with AI. They actually kind of have prompts, so they pick up on just what you said, like the sentiment or the nature of that email or that WhatsApp, and it kind of prompts the agent with, we think this is the route the customer's going down, so talk to them about X or Y, whatever it might be. So again, it's intelligently looking at that sentiment or that kind of customer history, and trying to advise the agent how best to actually answer the question, and that helps obviously from a customer perspective in terms of they're getting quick answers and they get a resolution, but also from internally within that contact center, the agents or operators are hitting their KPIs or whatever they might be within that business.
Yeah, because speed is everything in a contact center.
Yeah.
Not only speed, but I also think with this kind of solution that they better understand what the customer needs are and giving better services.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you can beat, well, you won't beat the actual human touch, right? So I think we look at it with the AI that, yes, they've got the tools to hand that can support them with the suggestions or the summarization, but there still needs to be that kind of physical conversation often. That's it's more humanized, It's such a word, but it's
more optimized for the human taking the call.
Yes,
because you got more information than just picking up on that person's voice.
Yeah. It's empowering them to actually help them along that customer journey.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant! I love that.
Yep.
Awesome.
What, empowering the customer?
Yes, empowering humans.
Empowering humans.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. It's neat. No, I like the idea of bringing everything together, because there's nothing worse than talking to a call agent about X and they're really understanding Y, and they don't understand, Actually, if the hotel had it this week, we'd have had a better reception yesterday, because they'd have had the up-to-date information about my phone call, about my email, when I tried to rearrange some rooms and extend my stay. So, yes, I guess that's the case.
Yeah, and I gave a bit of an example this morning about kind of two different experiences I had. One was with two train companies. Mm-hmm. One that you could tell had this kind of blended AI contact center, had all the customer records, and the other, it was a bad experience. Mm-hmm. They had none of it. So it was like, in the end, I think I just booked another ticket and paid extra to get what I wanted. And that's because that causes frustration,
Yes, absolutely. I kind of I had the same thing with the Dutch Railways at some point. Just like talking to them via WhatsApp, because they do have a WhatsApp channel, but that being not helpful, took hours to respond.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Yeah. I think connecting everything together, and not just the kind of the different omni channels like email and WhatsApp and telephony. That's one thing. But then also connecting the other databases. So it's we hear this buzzword or intelligent workplace, but it's kind of real. It's about that kind of customer experience strategy and the stack that they're using. So if it's all connected with knowledge bases, websites, booking systems, as well as the telephony platform, then it's a much better answer for all.
So what are the challenges many organizations have, and how is your product helping to solve them?
Yeah, there's a few, but I think the biggest one is speed to deployment. And there's a lot of systems out there still on kind of old legacy systems and clunky as such, and they take a long time to deploy. So then you have to have resources internally to actually put against the project, and that means the project could get delayed. That means the project could take a long time. It becomes costly. Whereas the good thing about working with Microsoft and Microsoft Teams and having a contact center that sits on top of that as an application is that the investment has been probably already made in Teams. So then obviously the investment is into the contact center platform. But because it's natively built into Teams as an app, it's very quick to deploy. We have customers that have done it in days. If the customer's ready, it can be deployed in days. We had a Maltese airline actually that did it in 10 days from meeting us to actually having something configured.
Nice.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fast.
So what we're trying to do, to answer your question roundabout, is that we do understand that building a contact center is complex. There are complex things behind it, like queues and flows. However, the actual architecture, our job as kind of vendors and applications, is to make it simple, much more simple to use and easy to manage.
And where does AI fit into that? So I guess you point it at the different systems and...
Yeah, it's about this kind of connected, all the systems connected. And, here's a good example maybe. You know what it's like when you call in somewhere and you kind of hit these IVRs and it says 1 for this, 2 for this, 3 for this, and it kind of goes on
Put
and
in
on.
your client number, which is to forget as soon as the answer.
Yeah, that's it.
And with a hash or something like
Yeah. So what happens with AI in that instance, to answer your question, is rather than having to hit 1, 2, 3, whatever it might be, just say on the phone. Say on your phone, if it's telephony, it could be email, could be any channel. Just say something like, if it's pricing you'd like, I was looking at your website, I need more information on X, or I need pricing information. What AI then does within our application is it understands that, translates that, and then what comes up is the Teams toaster that we're all familiar with, and it, to connect, and it will have a summary of that exact wording there. So the agent already knows what it's going to be talked about. But take it back one step further, that intelligently can be routed to the right people as well, the right part.
sales or technical support or
Exactly. So it kind of, again, it's AI comes in that way, speeds up that process.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
So
cool.
you also need just one incoming number instead of a number.
Exactly.
Well, often it's your name, isn't it? You just put your name with all learn that voice recognition.
Yeah. And also can recognise, if you're in that CRM system, it'll recognise the number
Yeah, true.
the kind of records are there, right? So we know that Dan called in yesterday. Actually, we know also he emailed in 2 days ago, and it's all kind of there.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
Go.
Cool. That's very cool.
Cool.
No, I was not thinking about something yet.
No, that's okay.
So one of the things that I kind of wanted to ask was could you share a success story? But you already talked a little bit about that Maltese airline company. But where does your product really make a difference?
I think it makes a difference a lot in kind of the SMB market, the kind of small business market. I think that's where we sit best. We can scale very quickly. So we can scale from 5 to 700 or 800 or more, but typically it's in that kind of SMB range of businesses and contact center. And the example I gave.
So is that an SMB that is a contact center, or is that just a company that has a few people dedicated and?
Yeah, I mean when I say SMB, it's more thinking about the number of seats. So it's something like anything between 5 to 250 would be probably the right thing. But to your point, that doesn't mean it can't be a very large organization. Because this could just be for a part of their business. And we have those customers who they're big retailers or manufacturing or pharmaceutical companies that actually they got thousands and thousands of employees, but they've got they only need this solution for one part of their business, and then it kind of grows from that perspective. But going back to the example I gave about this Maltese airline, what was key for them is they're a new airline and they're growing rapidly, and they're obviously bringing on more and more agents all the time. So they wanted to make sure that that the system they bring in is obviously easy to use and in this kind of single pane of in terms of your Microsoft Teams and all your different connected systems. But they wanted to make sure it scales very quickly when they bring on more and more agents and operators.
Yeah.
And Teams and our product CC for Teams works very well with that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So people here at Commsverse, they come to your booth. What can they expect? What can you give them or present them?
Yeah. So we're on we're just across the walkway in G2, our stand. But what we're actually doing is showing some of these AI features live. So we showed them this morning in a session and actually on our booth. So some of the things I talked about, these AI summarizations, the intelligent call routing, ringing in and saying I want to speak to sales, for example, or want to know about pricing. we can do all of that on the booth and show. So I think that helps because AI is, people are talking about AI, right? But no one really, it's like, what does it mean? Let's show us something that's real.
Exactly, yeah. So does a company also need to train that AI to pick up like very specific questions or lingo?
No, it just does it. It just does it over time and keywords and yeah. So there's certain things you put in the system, like a lot of it's keywords to begin with, and then it starts to learn itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's very cool. We lost the lights, but that's fine. We'll replace the batteries.
Keep talking.
Oh, he's gonna. Oh,
I think you pressed the button, right?
yeah. No. We it's battery powered, so we just need to plug in the new batteries. So that's cool. So what's in store for the next foreseeable future?
Yeah, I think we're going to continue to work on really be customer led in terms of what features and functionality they need. But I think definitely, AI is going to keep adapting and new uses of AI. So I think we're going to keep our eyes open on that. And also from the omni-channel perspective, making sure that we keep adding these different omni-channels, whether it's web chat or WhatsApp, emails. We've kind of got those now, and we've got other ones that are coming along. But that's important because we don't offer just one channel. You kind of want to make it open to all the different channels. Because even myself, I think about when I want to interact. Sometimes I want to do an email, sometimes I want to do web chat, sometimes I want to talk.
Oh, absolutely.
So they all need to be open.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Depends on the kind of question you want to ask.
Yeah. Time of day, where you are. If I'm in a conference today, I'm probably not going to maybe I don't want to make a phone call, but I'll send an email, for example.
Yeah.
But maybe tomorrow I'm at home working, I'll speak to someone. So it's making sure these things are
And
open.
also how fast you want to have an answer. If you can wait a little bit longer, an email is fine, but if you need to direct have an answer, then you probably will always do a phone call.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
Good. So, your giveaways on the stand? What cool stuff are you giving away?
Yeah, we got some nice.
Build the fans.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
They've been very popular.
I can well imagine. Yeah.
That was a nice bit of forethought.
Yeah.
It was like it
And
last year.
I am the lucky one. It's at my side of the table.
We'll get you a couple.
I don't know. What colour do you want?
I want a pink one.
Pink one.
No, purple was the color of this year.
Yeah, that's true. You can't be pink. If there was a pink one, it would be that side.
Oh,
of the
yeah.
table.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Of course.
No, we've got suites over there and fans and yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's been successful on the first morning.
Yeah.
Busy like last year or more.
Yeah, it's been busy. It was good. Obviously, we had the sessions, so that helped because people had to come by the booth afterwards and have conversations.
Yeah.
And we're all set up to do demos. So good start. Well, we're well into it now, I suppose, but it goes quick.
It does, yes. All that work up towards.
Yeah.
So I do understand that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much indeed.
I have one closing question.
There we go. Perfect. Sorry.
So, if you need to describe the added value in one sentence for your customers, what would it be?
It would be that they actually it empowers the agents and the operators to resolve customers' needs in quick time and professionally.
Better and faster.
Yep.
Stronger.
Yeah. All
What
those
does that
things.
sound
Yeah.
like? Harder, stronger, better, faster. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be a script writer.
No.
But I get it. Nice. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Contact centers. AI. Not thought about doing a roundup.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks. It's all little things, isn't it, with AI? It's all the small stuff that is making a bit of a difference at the moment. We talk about it being very narrow, but it's very narrow in specific areas, and it seems to be making a nice change.
Yeah, but also I really like this use case because this is indeed a use case where AI can really make a difference. I mean, I know that AI can tell me what kind of important emails came in last week, but I mean, that's not really valuable. But if I would be a contact center person and I get more information about the person that is calling me with sentiment, with whatever, I mean, that is so valuable.
Yeah, I agree. And we know we've talked to a lot of people here that are doing different things with sentiment, particularly, and that kind of stuff. but it is where the power is in one way or another. But if you think about the phone call happens, and every minute or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, it could change. So it's constantly being monitored. You know, that simple question of, hey, we're going to tell you all about it, that's fine. But then the other problem of actually she's getting more annoyed or he's getting angry and stuff and being able to deal with that. I think there's some pretty cool stuff happening around. I have to say, it's nice to hear it. That's good. Really it was cynical of AI, I think.
Sorry?
We've got a bit cynical of AI.
Maybe you did. I don't. I'm not.
You're not cynical of AI?
I am not cynical of AI.
Oh.
I'm not.
Well, there we go. Maybe we're about to get converted.
He's just cynical.
He's just cynical. Okay. Kieran Mullins, welcome. I guess from not Rogers 365.
No, that's just my lanyard. I'm from Code Software.
Yeah, we know. Just couldn't resist it, having just seen it there. Nobody else knows it's true because we just had Rogers 365 on earlier. So.
Radio. Well, I'm happy to share their badges.
Absolutely.
Right. Cool.
Commsverse one.
Talk into the microphone, my dear man.
we
I cannot understand whatever you're saying.
Yes, you do.
No, I didn't.
No.
I'm just going to start sulking soon, you know that, don't you? They won't leave me alone.
Is this workplace bullying?
It is definitely workplace bullying. I like this man a lot. I'm going to give him an extra 10 minutes now.
Oh.
All right, so why don't you introduce yourself and what Code Software do?
Thank you very much. Yeah, my name's Kieran Mullins. I'm partner manager and sales director at Code Software. Code Software, most people know us by our product brand, which is Clobba.
Ah.
Yeah, the Clobba guys.
Yeah.
Now you know it. So, and Clobba is a reporting tool. So it's reporting, analytics, management, and recording, primarily on Microsoft Teams and Microsoft 365. So we've worked with Microsoft for the whole of our existence, which is 12 or 13 years. We've now got around 2,000 customers, over 1 million endpoints that we're managing on Teams. So it's out there.
How old is the product now? I know you've had a major upgrade a couple of years ago because that's when I bought into it.
So the original Clobba product is probably 6 years old now.
Sounds about right.
We launched a bit prematurely our new solution, Clobba Flex.
Never happens to me.
No.
I never launched it.
Well, you're a lucky man then. So it's. Yeah, it was. I think we announced it about 2 years ago at Commsverse, and it was way too early. So we realised that quite quickly. Went back to the drawing board, and have spent the last 18 months, 2 years, preparing a solution that is truly fit for the market. So, new interface, new architecture, all very secure, and it's a good, flexible solution that I would advise people to have a look at.
Yeah, it was always great value, so you've managed to sort of keep that in place. It allowed us to make these calls without digging deep too much because it was giving a lot of value for the investment. So
Did you just call him cheap?
no, the product was cheap. I wouldn't call him cheap at all. It was the right price for my budget. So
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's what it is. It fits. Well, it has a certain fit in the market. There are obviously you could go for full-blown contact center, which is quite expensive, but what we're able to offer is a more well, I guess the word is cheaper. It's a less expensive version.
value. Let's go with value.
Yeah.
The word I was trying to use, and in fact was using.
Yeah. So it's nothing to be ashamed of, is it? For organisations that don't want to spend loads of money on their contact center, it fits the bill.
Exactly. Why would I shell out Ferrari money if I just need a car to drive to the supermarket?
Exactly. And it's also, you might want a Ferrari for the weekend, a saloon, if that's a thing anymore, for the for
Taking the kids to school.
day to day, yeah. And that's where we fit in. So large organisations will have big contact centres, big investments in that, but they'll have us for the internal, more informal contact centre requirements.
Well, at the time, the functionality we were looking at, we couldn't find anywhere else. So actually, it was quite good. And as I said, it wasn't that it was, hey, it's as cheap as buy it. It was I didn't have to worry about the approvals, it was really like an expense. So
Yeah.
we got just what we wanted. Wasn't going overboard. Didn't do all the stuff we wanted to do. It was a nice, niche little market. So
Yeah.
no, it was a good call for us.
Yeah. That
Well, I think I've just renewed the license as well. So
Oh,
we're
fantastic!
okay.
That's great news.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Long may that continue. Yeah, as you were alluding to there, it's. You said I think that we were the only one around, the only solution around at the time. That's certainly not the case anymore, is it? It's much more competitive environment. But I do think our strong Microsoft message is where we set ourselves apart. You know, the fact that we've worked with them from that OCS days, then Link, then Skype for Business, and now Teams. It means that we've stolen a bit of a march there. Our competitors are good. They've obviously invested heavily in catching up and learning what Microsoft data is all about.
Yes.
But there's nothing beats experience, I would say.
No, that's pretty cool.
True.
Good. All right. So where's it going to go next?
Where next? Well, I guess.
Get this one over and done with.
I guess it's got to be AI, hasn't it? We've got to do this. And funnily enough, so I joined Code 7 years ago, and one of the reasons I joined was they had this little. It's an AI bot really that was called Cody, and you could in chat you could ask it a question and it would give you some information back. So you could say, who was our busiest agent yesterday, that kind of thing. And I thought, wow, this is
It's pretty cool.
pretty progressive stuff. 7 years ago, this, and we took it to market. We showed it to lots of people, and people went, "Oh yeah, that's a nice little gimmick. That's
We don't need that.
that'll never catch on."
It's always the problem when you're ahead of the game.
Yeah. So I think it was Alan Turing, then Code Software. I think that was the line that AI has taken. So, it was great that we had this thing, but nobody really wanted it. They didn't see the value in it. So it's quite ironic now that we're in this situation.
Oh.
So we've just launched our new AI bot, which allows you to chat, and it's also got.
So is that Cody too, or
No, it's just called the Clobba app. Now.
okay?
We've lost our imaginative.
It's not as catchy as
No.
Cody, but
No.
still, yeah.
It is a shame. We should call it Cody too, I think.
Cody as well. Yeah, Cody too. I like that. Cody Papa.
Yeah. Yes. But yes,
Cody Bro.
Cody Bro.
Oh, you're giving them something. Now they are going to freewheel about names.
Yeah. Well, keep it coming. We did this for a month, so we got any free ideas, very welcome.
All great ideas, all a bit weird. We're going to go with Cody app.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Everybody else was doing an app, so why not?
Exactly, yeah. So we have currently called Clobba app, which allows you to chat. It's using generative AI, so it learns the more questions you ask it, of course, and it becomes more useful to the individual supervisor. So it's kind of a bit like a PA for a supervisor, really. Just quickly get to the answers that they need. It's also got dashboards. It's innate within Teams as well, so you don't have to go into the browser-based version of the solution in order to see the data as well. So it's a good
Awesome.
first step on the AI, or the next step on the AI
So
journey.
does that run inside of the customer's environment?
Yeah. So it's
So it's not running at your in your how do you call that?
Data center.
Yeah, data center server side.
right. So we typically we would host the application for the customer. So
Yeah.
it's a true SaaS solution.
Mhm.
Some people do prefer on-prem still, or in their own Azure,
Yeah.
or AWS or whatever. And so we're happy to go with that, whichever works for them. So yeah, we would be storing their data in our Azure. And
But
then
you're doing that anyways.
we're doing
Yeah,
that
yeah.
anyway. Yeah, and
Exactly.
it's just a quicker way of getting to that information, really.
Makes sense.
Yeah, if you think about it, it also deals with all of the sort of privacy and compliance issues and
Yeah.
all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff,
which is
which is more and more important. Especially as some of that data is actually customers, voices and information from the calls and all transcribed and things.
GDPR important data.
Yeah. No, that kind of makes some sense. So you see a large growth now? I mean, are you picking up a lot of market share on this kind of stuff, a lot of interest at the stand and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's been great today actually. We've had our best H1 ever, even though it's not over yet. So sales-wise things are going well, in spite of the competition. I think there is enough of a demand out there for analytics and BI. So I think there's enough for everyone to survive and thrive in this. And I think this year so far has proven that. Today has been really good. Loads of our partners have come over, lots of new people to talk to, and the odd end user as well, which is
that's fun because you mainly work with partners.
We do, yeah. So we've got a partner first go-to-market strategy.
Yeah. So then it's brilliant that you can hear from people first. The end user.
Yeah, definitely. And but the great thing is, we talk to our partners a lot. Obviously, meetings-wise these days, most of them are via Teams. So it's really great to actually meet them face to face. Sometimes we haven't met them at all, or we haven't seen them since last year. So it's a superb event for that reason.
Yeah, that's cool. So one of the other items that was mentioned was work-life balance, and so within the application, is this something that actually gets notified, time to take a break, or is it just really part of the supporting tool set for a better balance?
Maybe it's the AI detecting you talking to the customer, saying, "It sounds like you need a break."
Yes, maybe.
That's the next step. It's good. I'll feed that back to our dev team. So, absolutely. So it's more the latter of what you said there. So it's I think where we offer information and usefulness on that kind of what is the word that work-life balance.
Yes.
It's detecting who is having. There was an announcement today by Microsoft about so many % of people are having meetings after 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And they're checking their emails and things like that. So obviously not ideal. I don't think. Obviously certain jobs require that. Some people prefer that as well because it gives them the flexibility through the day. But I think in general, being able to monitor that and therefore manage it is incredibly important. So if there are certain people who are continually having meetings after 8 o'clock, or they're working beyond their 5:30 finish or whatever it may be, if you've got statistics to kind of prove that, and then you go, if you might want to think about spending a bit more time at home or turning off for a while. So we can deliver stats around that. There's no kind of sort of like Garmin watch things where you need to stand up now and or your heartbeat is this or whatever. But
That's actually not a bad idea.
What?
Monitoring all of that. Some people start very early, work on late, but sometimes you just need to relax.
Yeah, that's true. And these tools have traditionally been seen as kind of Big Brother things where people distrust being monitored. But actually, you can. Yes, it looks at productivity levels, but it's also looking at that work-life balance as well. So.
Yeah, the unions definitely don't like it though.
Well,
even though the advantages of being there and what it tells them, as far as they're concerned, you will use it to your advantage.
Yeah, it depends which nationality of unions you're talking about.
That's true.
I think in Germany now we're finding a big uptake on our solutions. So and they've always been one of the toughest work unions, haven't they? So if it's getting through them, then it's obviously not too bad.
Well, I think more of them are becoming personalised. So it's not sharing personal information, but it is actually focused on the human side of things rather than on the process or the business side of things.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the big changes over the last couple of years. So,
yeah, sure.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
COVID kind of changed all these things, I think.
It will go down in history.
Yeah.
There's the big change of the 20th century or the 21st century, whatever number we're in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, COVID. I think everybody's mentioned it this morning so far, one way or another, more or less. That and
Maybe.
AI.
Maybe.
AI
Yes.
and COVID, the
Yeah.
two most used words all morning on Commsverse TV. Well, part of the fun. Well,
No
the
surprise.
rest of the day is just as successful as the morning has been for
Thank you very much.
And I'm guessing you guys and your team are out tonight. Got something nice planned?
We've got a couple of beers planned. Nothing too heavy. We've got tomorrow as well, so we need to think about
Yeah,
that.
so tomorrow night's big party.
Pace
night.
yourself. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. That's okay. We were just trying to work out who to bump into, weren't we, as we were wandering around tonight.
Well, if you're in the Sandown area, then
Oh, you're out
come and
there.
see
I
us.
don't think we'll be
We're
out
a long
there.
way out. Yeah. We were a bit late booking the hotel, so.
We're all part of the
But
fun.
it'll
Well,
be good.
thanks very much, Kieran.
Thank you,
And,
guys.
Much great conversation. Good to hear that you guys are moving on. And we'll look forward to hearing the news for next year.
Absolutely. Thank you
Awesome.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Good to
Bye.
see you. Bye.
That's fine. Well, there we go. Yet
Yes.
another one finished and done.
Good.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. It's good to see that all these different kinds of solutions.
I think so.
And
And slightly different approaches.
Yeah, like the big contact centers and then the smaller solutions. So it's brilliant. Yeah. And also the way that they approach it. Some say we'll store everything at your tenant so that you can manage all that. Or you can also say like, you know what, we'll store it for you and we'll make sure that everything works. So that's
They
interesting.
were very much that way around. I mean, I remember buying the product. Security, first thing that we have to check is, hey, where's the data going to go? We
Mhm.
don't care. We can put it wherever you want. So in the end, I think we took the SaaS solution because it was just using the API to get in there and get
Yeah.
out of it. So.
I get that, but I've got a few customers that really want to keep everything onto their own tenant and don't want to have any data get out of their environment.
It's about trust, though, isn't it? Because most
It
of these
is.
things are just API calls,
Yeah.
and most of the data stays sort of insecure. But it is a question, and of course, with more and more of these applications linking to your tenants, equally more and more important.
True.
True.
All right. So with that,
I think
let's
so.
round up and let's
Did we
talk
not just
to
round up?
everyone very. Yes, we did, but let's end then after rounding up.
After rounding up comes goodbye.
Ciao.
Yes.
Bye.
Goodbye.